Thank you for assisting with the journey. Keep watching Blackthorne.
Alright folks, this is Acid Roots. Welcome to part 3 of Blackthorne. Or welcome back if you've been watching this through. Got a nice little intro from Cobalt. I mean, he's not going to have too many more appearances throughout the entirety of this, but we're at least going to see him in the beginning phases. So, I kind of toggled back and forth between whether or not this is actually going to be like a just complete quick playthrough, or if it's going to be like a more error-prone one. I think it's actually going to have the errors in it, just because, as I started to realize in a future gameplay recording of this, I just would have to say that, you know, just a few mistakes and you have to do this whole level over. There's 4 levels per world, but, you know, if you mistake too much, you're doing that whole level over. It's kind of a pain in the ass, because each level takes about 10 or 15 minutes, so sometimes 20, so it's just kind of like you have to do the whole 20 minutes over again. So obviously I'm not gonna, you know, if I die in this and I have to start the level over, especially when I get to later worlds, I'm just gonna have to say fuck it, you know, I'm not gonna, this is a different day. Like, if I did that Monday, I might come back to it Wednesday, but as far as keeping those recordings, at least until it gets tedious, I'll keep them. That's what's gonna happen in this episode. We don't actually advance to the next world in this, so... But it should be interesting. I mean, I like fail sequences. That's kind of the, I'm looking for the word for that. That's kind of the approach that I did for Super Mario Bros. 3 back in 2016. So I think that'll work for this too. This is a really short game. I mean, it's just 16 stages in total. So I want this to be a little bit longer than just 11 or 12 parts. So we'll easily be at the next world by like episode 5, and then probably the one after that will be like episode 9 or so, so as long as I don't die too much. But yeah, so we're already at like the next phase, so this is the next password and shit. You're going to be seeing the screen a good handful of times, because I'm not going to do this all at once. But just so you know, I mean, obviously I should be talking more about like fun things, or at least something more jovial, but you're knowing the approach as you head into the rest of this project with me, so. But now I can actually get these done in abundance, which I'm looking forward to. You know, I'm glad that now real life is not getting in the way again, so I can get back to doing this stuff, and we can tackle July, August, and so on. And, you know, it's 4th of July right now. I mean, I'm not sure, but the neighbors are lighting fireworks, so I mean, you may be able to faintly hear those. I doubt it, but I mean, I just heard one right there, so yeah, so those are some whistlers. You might be able to hear that, I'm not sure. Well, I can hear it, so that's the thing. So it's I've got some extra content to talk about as things progress. So it's kind of funny how, you know, I've been seeing on Instagram, since I follow some people in the hip-hop and music community, and there's enough of, like, people are just saying in general, like, fuck 4th of July, like, it's become like a racial holiday and shit, and it's like, I mean, the only reason why I'm not in complete agreement is just because it's, you know, it's been celebrated for like 250 years in the United States. That's kind of, I mean, you know, my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, I mean, pretty far back in lineage have celebrated 4th of July, so to kind of, this cancel culture stuff to kind of say, oh, we're canceling 4th of July, it's kind of like, are we really? I mean, I don't know at this point. So, that would, I mean, there's no other holidays that we use fireworks for besides New Year's. So, I mean, the situation, but of course with coronavirus, it's next to impossible. I mean, people are still going to barbecues and stuff, but it's not wise to sit there and you know, trade a cheeseburger for a virus. I mean, you could sit there and talk about how, like, you know, some, like, Kelly Clarkson or something, you know, you could go on a date with her, you know, have a chance to meet up with her. You get what I'm saying with this. You know, I probably still wouldn't take the opportunity versus coronavirus and stuff, but it's kind of the thing. That's the stupidity of it all. Is just trying to talk about that, and this is kind of, you know, that's the risk that people are taking, and that's the thing. I mean, it's probably not even registering in like 1 or 2 seconds of thought. Like, I could get coronavirus, or I can go to the movies. You know, it's like, well, I'm getting my keys. You know, that's probably that sort of way of thinking for most people and shit, but I hate these spider things. They're really going to be a pain in the ass later. There's no way of destroying them besides getting hit by them, and even then that takes off 2 chunks of your health. So 3 of those spiders can kill you. That's the thing. You do have to kill this goblin dude down here because you need a bomb to destroy the whip dude, because the guns won't hurt him. So you thinking you don't have to do this, well, you do. So, I tried skipping it, but it wasn't happening. But the thing is, I mean, honestly, you may not have to do this part if you actually are doing these in a lengthy, like if you didn't use a password function, I guess you wouldn't have to because you'd have your previous weapons, but I don't know, I guess I'm making it a little bit more difficult. The game is just trolling me because it's like, oh, you have to do the previous stage to get to this stage to have the good weapons, but I don't know. So obviously there's going to be some backtracking. I mean, that this game is going to have this is because of items like the levitator and the bridge keys and stuff like that. So there is going to be some backtracking just because you have to go back and get items and take them to areas, and if you forget items then you have to go all the way back and get those. So that's what makes this game longer, just because there's not that many stages, is the backtracking. It really didn't matter that I killed that guy, but one thing that's really tripping me up, and that's the reason why how many times I have to restart this, and you may find that when you play this game, is fall damage. I mean, one thing that this game will try to get you to do is do the running jump, but then it doesn't really give you enough room to really do it. So, I mean, if you go off screen and you run, you could run right into a chasm. So that's why I walk most of the time, is because they put so many chasms and they're trying to trip you up, so you just have to take your time. But you still do have to use the running jump, so it's kinda, that's the thing, if you have to have pretty good timing with the running jump, just because sometimes they don't give you a lot of room. So it's kind of the situation. I'm just like, hell. I mean, it's not pissing me off yet, but if I get to like later stages and I have to do like a whole 25 or 35 minutes plus of footage, then that's going to start to piss me off. And I know it will. I'm not really bitching about it as I'm playing this and yelling aloud and cursing my luck and yelling and shit, but I mean, like I was saying, it probably will happen if later worlds do this, because the first real world that pissed me off, the first real stage that pissed me off, was level 4. I mean, the first 3 in the mine area are really not that difficult, but this stage kind of, on a scale of 1 to 10 for how much it pissed me off, it was probably like a 2.5 or a 3. So, but yeah, so you realize that you need the levitator, but I was kind of scratching my head just because it's like, well, there's nowhere else to go. But you'd be wrong. Let's see if you can find where you have to go. It's kind of tricky. It's trying to do this on purpose. So, you need the levitator. So apparently his brothers are hiding, which I guess what that means is they're just not out in the open, and not so much hiding. You just have to find them. I suppose, you know, you get the idea. There's really, yeah, I don't think that there's a way to kill those spiders. You have to just kind of hide in the background, avoid them. That's all you can really do. And if they hit you, like I was saying, they take off 2 of your health. So be patient. It's not so much the difficulty of them as much as they say you don't want to run through these areas and you don't want to try to jump over them. There's the hidden area. It's behind the waterfall. So, here's another thing. I mean, make sure you have enough health. This is another reason why you may not want to use passwords, is because the previous password, you know, level 3 probably gave you a couple potions, but this one only gives you 1. So if you stack up potions, it really wouldn't have been that tough. But I mean, I'm probably gonna that was some fireworks. I'm probably gonna wind up pissing myself off just because I'm gonna get fucked out of trying to get those potions. So, but yeah, these guys are really helpful. They'll give us more items. So, but now we have to backtrack and get the levitator. So bear with me, folks. If you're really wanting this area to advance, I mean, you're not watching the wrong game, but you just have to understand you have to kind of roll with the punches and take this game in stride, because it's very exploratory. So yeah, so now we have to do a running jump, and yeah, I jumped too early. I mean, this is timing here. I mean, enough times of me failing and I die, so did it again. So that's stupid. I wasted 1/3 of my health just from this jump. This guy chained up is probably like, you're an idiot. Probably what he's thinking. If I didn't have these chains, I could jump like 3rd time I tried that. 5th time I tried that. Oh, shit. This is really the only stage where those guys are chained up, though. I don't know how the game of the plot advances, but in later stages they start being more useful. I also don't know how much time it advances. I mean, because obviously, like I was saying, once you get past the mines, the next stage that's in the 32X version of the game is the Snowy Mountains, which obviously means that, you know, he's probably he is traveling across the planet and such. So I don't know if like weeks are passing, how Kyle Blackthorne is getting food. You know, if he's talking to the villagers, if he's talking to, like, you know, the Androthi Hoochies to, you know, get him along in hard times. I mean, it doesn't really say. I mean, honestly, it just is kind of, you know, you just are when we get past this stage, you're just magically at, like, the next world and shit. So that's why it leads me to believe that, you know, this is not a game that gets beaten in, like, you know, 2 or 3 days or something. But, you know, video games just didn't do that. I mean, you just have to kind of be able to put 2 and 2 together, just to kind of say, oh, well, 2 months have passed since stage 1, and it's only stage 2. Yeah, don't kill these Androthi just because they give you weapon power-ups and you'll need them. I mean, I don't know if you have to have them, but, I mean, you can take out the goblin enemies that much quicker. So at least the red ones. Later ones, not so much. More fireworks. We extend our... I like when Kyle Blackthorne talks back to those guys. It shows some grace. Alright, so we're going to defeat this guy and then stay tuned for part 4. Alright, subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.